The stock market and just about everybody out there are suddenly shocked once again because President Donald Trump has just done again what he said he was going to do. I know it's shocking. It's catching everybody completely off guard. And this is why the stock market's been going down the last few days. People started going, wait, is he actually going to? And today they went, yeah, apparently he is. He is moving forward with these tariffs. He is starting this trade war. And he doesn't seem to be backing down. And other countries are just struggling to catch up because they didn't expect him to be serious. Friends, we're going to talk about the trade war, what just happened today. We're going to talk about what other countries are doing back to the United States. We got tariffs going this way, tariffs going that way. We're going to talk about what products you should expect to be impacted. These are the things that are going to be impacted very shortly. You might want to stock up on these things. So we want to get you guys ahead of the curve to let you know what you might want to grab right now and then kind of coast for a bit to hopefully have an end to this trade war, and then you'll be able to buy back in those type of things once prices come back down. All right, without further ado, let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are the things the mainstream media doesn't believe would ever happen, but you've heard on this channel saying it's going to happen because he said it's going to happen, and he's president, and he tends to just, keep his word. It's absolutely crazy. All right, so this morning at 12:01 a.m., the 25% Canada tariff went on to all imports from Canada into the United States, with the exception of some energy products like oil, natural gas. From Mexico, all goods coming across the southern border from Mexico, 25% tariff. Now, we already had a 10% tariff on Chinese goods, but this morning, an additional 10% got slapped right on top there. So we're now at 20% tariff on stuff coming from China. This is a big deal. China's our number one trading partner. Canada's our number two. Mexico, I believe, is our number three. We've just slapped tariffs, big, beautiful, bold tariffs onto basically a large portion or a large percentage of basically anything that comes into the United States. And it's not stopping there. Not only are we tariffing these other countries, but these other countries are starting to tariff us back. China has imposed tariffs on us, and we now have Canada slapping us with tariffs as well. Mexico may hit us with tariffs in a short bit, but they still seem to be kind of caught off guard. Now, Mexico and Canada, if they did enough, they could have averted these tariffs. That's what the White House is saying. Basically, if they kept policing their borders, if they kept doing enough to limit immigration into the United States, and if they did enough to go after gangs, cartels, anyone producing fentanyl and trafficking human beings as well, that they would get another exemption for the tariffs. But as of last night, the White House said they haven't done enough and there is no averting it. It's going to happen. So, lo and behold, at 12:01 a.m. this morning, those tariffs went into effect. Now, this is going to devastate the Canadian economy. This is going to devastate the Mexican economy. 40% of the Mexican economy is exports. That's a lot. That's a big number. And most of those exports come to the United States. So they just had 40% of their economy just get tariffed. A 25% tax on 40% of their economy. That's kind of a big deal. Now, Trump's been talking about going after the payments going from the United States to other countries. So basically people coming to the United States working and then sending money back home. Now, he hasn't done anything on that just yet, but that may happen in the near future. Putting a tax on the money that is being sent back or something like that. If you make money in the United States, you should spend the money in the United States, generally speaking. Now, there's reasons why people need to do that, for sure, if they still have family back in those countries. But let's get into, we got to talk about the reciprocal tariffs that other countries are hitting us with, but we also have to talk about the products that are going to be impacted the most when you go to the store and when you try to buy something. First thing that's going to really be impacted is manufacturing. Now, if you don't own a factory, this isn't going to directly impact you right now, but I want you to see how this is going to impact you from all angles. A lot of manufacturing gets parts, chemicals. A lot of chemicals come from China. So we're going to see some supply chain disruption here where they may try to purchase these chemicals or purchase other things that they need from other suppliers that are not from these countries that are tariffed. Countries have been kind of knowing that the China tariffs and the China trade war thing is going to be an ongoing spat. And so they've been trying to source outside of China for a lot of these things. But this is going to have a bunch of production coming to a standstill because they don't have a certain product. I mean, just think about food. How many different ingredients are in a lot of manufactured food? Now, you may not eat that garbage, but your neighbor probably does. Okay? The people in your town, in the city that you're nearby, a lot of people eat that garbage. And if they can't get that garbage, they're going to come after the stuff that you eat. They'll pay more because they need to eat, and they're going to get healthier alternatives if they can't get the manufactured garbage. So it will impact you. But just think about their manufactured food with like 40 different ingredients. Then you add the packaging, then you put the ink on the packaging, then you got the plastic inner lining, you got the transportation and everything like that. You start looking at the supply chain of getting that frosted toasted wheats to everybody's doorstep. And what happens when one of those chemicals goes missing? We saw this during the cough, where a lot of production got really messed up because they'd have one or two ingredients that they want to put in their pre-processed, ultra-processed nightmares. They want to put stuff in there, but they can't because they don't, the tubs of that PHP or whatever, I'm just making up funny chemical sounding names or whatever. They put the chemical that they want to put in there comes in barrels, and they just don't have any barrels of that chemical. So what do? They just stop the production line. So we're going to see probably some of that happening over the next little bit. Some parts come from Canada. Some parts come from Mexico. Less parts come from Mexico, but a lot of machined stuff comes from Canada. So manufacturing lines need parts to repair electronics and the production line machinery. That may be impacted by things. Also raw materials, steel, aluminum. We get a lot of that from Canada. We also get a lot of that from China. So that's going to be a problem. Oil and natural gas, we get a bunch of that from Canada and Mexico as well. But that shouldn't impact us as much because that's pretty, oil is fluid. It is a commodity. We can just replace it with somewhere else. It just takes time for those tankers from the Middle East or wherever else to come here, and the Canadian tankers can go to wherever else they want to and just avoid the United States. But there are cutouts within the Canadian tariffs for oil, but I believe they're at 10% as opposed to the 25%, which is not small. That's still a big deal. The Canadian economy is going to be devastated by this as well. And they're being stubborn and patriotic and okay. But what they fail to realize is how dependent they are on the United States. The United States is not dependent on Canada, but Canada is absolutely dependent upon the United States. So manufacturing, automobiles. There's a lot of automobiles made down in Mexico. Now we've already seen some movement here. Honda has announced that they're moving some production lines out of Mexico back into the United States. Wait, are you saying that the tariffs are already having the effect that Donald Trump wanted of moving manufacturing jobs from Mexico back into the United States? Well, apparently, Honda has said, okay, this is going to be a headache for us. It's cheaper for us to have the production, less of a headache for us to have the production inside the United States. And they're doing it. So, yay. So other things, fruits and vegetables. We got a lot of fruits and vegetables coming from Mexico. This is going to impact things. So if you want your avocados are probably going to be tariffed. A lot of fruits and vegetables. They're part of the, you know how you go to the store and you have fruits and vegetables year round? Well, that's because they kind of walk the seasons from South America up to Mexico, up to California, Florida. And so a lot of this is kind of like you have a series of harvests that happen, and Mexico is part of that process, part of that seasonal process. So we may find that we get to a certain season and suddenly all of the lemons just disappear. Now, the people that run these supply chains, they know this is happening. They know that this is going to be a problem, and so they're going to probably try to source things to get around this. However, we may find that they may not be able to source enough lemons or cucumbers or something. We may find that becomes a big problem. Now, 25% tariff, they may just raise the prices on us. So that may happen. But fruits and vegetables, particularly certain seasons of this stuff, and then avocados, most of the avocados in the United States do come from Mexico. So expect avocados to go up in price at least. Just stock up on those things. Also, you can just switch over to canned fruits and vegetables. I've been recently moving over to frozen fruits and vegetables. I'm trying to get a little more healthy that way. So I'm moving over to bagged frozen fruits and vegetables. That way it's just a little more shelf stable, a little more easy for me to mix into some Greek yogurt. And we got to be healthy, right? So I'm making changes to my life, and hopefully you guys are making changes to your lives too, to get into a healthier space and get into a better place where you can be more effective and more you can be better for your family, right? All right, moving over to China, we got electronics, we got shoes, medicines, cosmetics, and then all that cheap plastic garbage, right? All that cheap plastic garbage comes from China. You need that stuff, your spatulas. I'm always thinking about spatulas because, the plastic ones don't scrape your non-stick pans and everything like that. I know I should be using wood or whatever, but, it's just easier to use the plastic ones. And, they're all manufactured in China. So whatever cheap plastic disposable items that you use, plastic bags, trash bags, make sure you're stocked up on all of that stuff because that will be impacted by these tariffs and availability may start to fluctuate. We may see some issues when we get to the store. We may see that the store doesn't have what we want or the prices are a lot bigger than what we expected. Prices will not be impacted immediately, but over the next week or two, if these tariffs stick around, you're going to start seeing impacts. If you need your Canadian maple syrup, that's probably going to be impacted. You've got a lot of stuff that's going to be impacted from Canada. Hard to say all of the things. Now, Canada has launched a tariff on the United States as well. They're hitting us with 25% tariffs. They hit us with a first tranche of like 90 or 100 million US dollars worth of goods, but there is another billion. Another $800 billion worth of trade going up to Canada that is about to be hit by another 25% tariff from Canada as well. No word on reciprocal tariffs from Mexico yet, but China has hit some of American exports to China with a 15% tariff. Chicken, wheat, corn, cotton, pork, and beef. Now, they can just get those from other places. The United States can just export those things to other places, right? We can export our chicken and beef over to, Taiwan, we can export it over to Vietnam, we can export it to, Argentina or whatever, and then they can import their beef from Argentina themselves. So, these are commodities, so those tariffs aren't really going to impact the United States so much, I don't think. Once things kind of settle, those tariffs are going to be relatively ineffective. However, United States tariffs on China are going to be highly effective because we're just going to get our products and stuff from other countries, and those countries can just ramp up production of those items, especially the cheap plastic junk, right? Other countries make that stuff too. They can ramp up production. We're going to see medicines and cosmetics. Hopefully we can get those from other countries too. Other countries have started manufacturing shoes more. So just look for things that don't have made in China on them. I know you're already kind of doing that, but made in Vietnam or made in anywhere else in the world will have less tariffs on it. So definitely things to look out for. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining with us. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report.